Not only does he play the cello,
Also,
but he can slice an onion. Oh God! Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are going to make an awesome meal tonight, and I am Chef Nikki. This is my co-host, and you guys probably already know who he is. This is the man, the one and only, the Maestro, Darko Butorac.
Great to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, everybody.
Do people call you the Maestro, or?
No, that's only, if we talk about Seinfeld.
Maestro.
Then that joke inevitably comes up.
So we're making a Levant spiced pork chop. It's a really thick pork chop, and the spices are very interesting because there's some surprises, as Darko says, in there to surprise your palate. So you guys are really gonna love that. And then we're making Israeli couscous in the style of paella. So this is a recipe I actually just kind of came up with and decided that it was gonna be a really great way to celebrate the piece that y'all are playing. And so let's get started. I always start with what we call mise en place, right?
Okay.
Things in place. Mise en place is French for things in place. So I always try and cut off all my veggies, and then that way I can put my board away and I don't have to revisit it again. So that's what we're gonna start doing. So how do you feel about slicing up an onion?
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
Like it?
Or julienne.
Julienne?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Can I show you like a really easy way to do it, and then
Yes,
you do it?
go ahead.
So we just cut off
You do both ends.
the north and south pole is what I call it, right? And then we cut through the center, and we only need a half an onion.
Okay.
And where the root was is usually kind of like
A little hard.
right? Yeah. So we're gonna get rid of that guy, and we cut like a little V. Then we peel. So you basically you do the claw, right? The claw, and you hold with a a grip, choke up on it, and then we just.
How am I doing?
Oh, you're doing perfect. This is what I'm talking about. Peppers are so expensive, and I always tell people I have almost zero waste when I cut a pepper because I just am so obsessive compulsive about it. But the way that I do it is I just I cut the top off, right? And now look at that.
We got a perfect top that's not wasted.
Clean, right?
Love it. Okay.
And now we take the this little guy out, and now I cut the bottom off. Okay. Take the ribs out.
Why shouldn't we use the ribs?
They're just bitter. They taste like nothing.
Of course, on hot peppers, it's where the heat is.
That's where the heat is,
So
yeah.
you gotta be careful.
Now we're gonna have perfect juliennes.
Okay, now what about these guys?
Yeah, you can julienne them.
Julienne, just smaller julienne. All the necessary fixes. We're
I'm
just
gonna show you
crushing.
I'm gonna show you my little trick. Get that guy out of there. Give it a smush.
Nice and stringy.
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
Beautiful. All right, so now that our mise en place is done, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make our carbohydrate, our starch, because that is what you wanna do whenever you're making a meal, is always get your mise en place done and then make your starch so you're not waiting for it. And we are gonna take 2 cups of chicken stock, beautiful homemade chicken stock that it's in your meal kit.
You're so lucky.
So lucky.
This stuff is so much better than anything you can buy in the store.
It's like liquid gold.
I love it. I've never seen them packaged like this.
Yeah, saffron, it's a world's most expensive spice. Only the best. So it's the out of the crocus flower, it's hand-picked, and that's why it's so expensive. However, a little goes a long way. So
What do we got here?
This is what you call a pinch.
Nice.
Yeah, like 8 threads or so, and you always have to steep it like tea. So we're just gonna drop it right into our chicken stock and let it come to a boil and steep it like tea while we prepare the other parts of the couscous. This will just be steeping happily, and yeah, it stays in there and kind of stains your hand a little bit. You get a little bit of, it's a little bit yellow.
Ah.
We're gonna do a little saute. So we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup, and this will all be measured out for you guys. You won't have to measure one thing.
This is olive oil?
This is olive oil, yeah. 1/4 cup
Good.
of olive oil. We're gonna let that, start to get
very
hot.
aromatic.
Yeah, right?
I love it.
Garlic. So put half of that because we're gonna use the rest of it for. So we have a couple cloves right there, and notice that we put it in, after we caramelize. Otherwise, the garlic would burn, so we don't want that for sure.
So I have to tell the viewers at home, my big discovery for today is using tongs in a pan.
Yeah.
These are silicone coated, so they won't scratch the bottom of the pan, but you know, I always use like some kind of spatula in it, you know, and you try to flip things over so you get the other side, and it never quite works. You know, kind of push them to the side of the pan, you're clumping, it's this is fantastic, I love it.
It's the little things in life, right? All right, now we're gonna toast our couscous.
Mix around a little?
Yeah, mix it around, toast it up. Okay, so now we're tossing in. I'm gonna just go behind you there. I don't want to burn you.
Hot stuff coming through.
Hot stuff coming through, exactly. So we have our chicken stock and our tomato.
Pro seasoning.
Made by a pro, so you can cook like a pro.
Ooh, I like it.
You like that?
Good tag. Good.
And now we're just gonna cover this couscous with a lid and let it simmer while we cook our pork chops. Okay, so we have our little Levant spice, and this has got like cinnamon and cloves.
So this is in the packet.
It's in the packet. It's already made for you. You don't have to mix it up or anything.
Spice magic.
Spice magic, yeah. So, but I did write the recipe down for you guys. So if you wanted to make this again, you can easily do it again. We'll just do a little dusting.
Oh, it smells divine, Nikki.
You like that?
I love it.
There you go. Yeah, surprises. I just love this spice blend. I'm so glad that you know, when we talked about what to do for this menu, that you suggested this, because I was like, that's the ticket.
Yeah, it's spices, let's say, that maybe would be familiar with individually.
Yes.
There's a little bit of clove. Is there some cumin?
Cumin. I put a little cumin in there. Yep. Cinnamon.
Yep.
Clove. I did put a little pro seasoning in there, so that's in there too.
But nothing like crazy weird.
No, nothing like, you know, I was like, should I put fenugreek? And I was like, no, let me not put that in there. So my little trick is I always put my proteins on a piece of foil and then some paper towel, and I dry them off, because if you don't dry off your proteins, what'll happen is the moisture that's on the protein will effectively boil instead of caramelize. And so that's when you have what we call gray meat. Yeah, so the trick is to make sure that we dab them off. Yeah, nice and dry. So we're gonna get our pan really hot on medium-high heat. That way we have nice caramelization. You know, that's my obsession. And,
question.
Yep.
So like, I always think of cast iron as kind of a way to imitate a grill indoors, right? Because you can get it super hot and get, as you say, get the caramelization. Could one do this recipe that we have in the meal box if you have like a nice barbecue out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Put the pork chops in the barbecue and...
Yes, the only minus is when we sear these off in here, we're gonna remove them from the pan and make the sauce right in there. So you're gonna use that foundation right there.
So we're sticking with the cast iron.
We are, but but you can make the sauce on you know, in a skillet. You just may not have that little building block, but I mean, Gordon Ramsay's not coming over your house, so it's fine. You do whatever you want.
Your house. Who knows who's watching?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So we got clarified butter, and you're not going to have to measure. It's 4 tablespoons.
Is that ghee or?
It's ghee.
It is ghee. Okay.
Clarified butter is ghee. It's just a lovely cooking fat.
Yes.
And we're gonna let it get nice and hot to smoke point. So when this starts smoking, then we're gonna add our pork chops in.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's another thing. People try and put the, like we were talking about patience and stuff. What happens is we get too impatient to let the pan get hot enough, and then we don't have that sear. So we want the pan to really go, you know, the meat to go shh when we put it in. Wafting.
Oh. I wasn't hungry when I came to do the taping, but now I
that's
know.
it.
This is it. So one of the key elements of flamenco, as we talked earlier, are castanets. And the reason they're called castanets is castagna is chestnut, right? In Italian, in Spanish, it means chestnut. So it's chestnut wood that is traditionally used to make castanets. It's 2 hollow pieces, and of course, when they come together, they clap. And there's supposed to be one, I don't know how to play this. Like full disclaimer, I'm a cellist. I don't play castanets, but basically, you know, I suppose if you're playing flamenco or dancing flamenco, this That's what happened.
The sound.
That's the sound. And this was very popular throughout the Mediterranean region. They date back to ancient Greek times.
Yeah. It means a party's coming.
Party's coming.
Yeah, party's happening.
So basically, what composers did in recent centuries, if you want to evoke Spain, if you want to evoke this kind of exoticism from southwestern Europe, this is the first instrument they use. And the piece we're playing actually does not have castanets written in the part. So but it's a dance piece. It's a fandango. Fandango is a dance from this part of the region. It makes absolute sense. Whoever was dancing would have castanets.
Yeah.
And so we wrote out a part for castanets in our performance, which you can enjoy. But similarly, we're in the process of basically taking an element from a different culture and adding it in to be authentic. So similarly, when we're talking about our food here, we have, as you mentioned, we have spices, we have ingredients. We're doing a paella with couscous. Couscous is a traditionally Middle Eastern ingredient. It speaks of Israel or the Levant. And, we're doing it in a Valencian style, which is something a little bit different. So
I love it.
An ode to the castanets.
An ode to the castanets.
So.
It's been about 8 minutes, yeah. So just give it a flip.
Take a look. Oh, mamma mia, look at that beauty. Love it. It's gonna be delicious.
All right, so we're gonna temp out our pork chop, and we want this to be 145, 150 degrees, and then we'll let it rest. And this is perfect. So
I love it.
So
I love it.
We're gonna pull this off into this little side plate. Thank you, sir.
So important to let meat rest.
Yes, let it rest. And while it's resting, we're gonna take that opportunity to make our beautiful sauce.
Ah, look at this divineness here. Look at that.
So we're gonna make a roux now. And
roux time.
Go ahead and dump that stuff in.
Just straight in.
Yeah, straight in.
Boom. There it goes.
And that is going to thicken our sauce. There you go.
Oh, it's my first roux.
Is it really?
Yes.
Get out of here.
I don't. Like I said, I tend to do more Asian and kind of Eastern foods. So roux is not always
it's not really
used, and But how am I doing?
Perfect. Grab that garlic.
The garlic.
Here, I'll take this.
All right.
We do that.
Here's the garlic.
Yeah.
This is just to flavor it a little.
Just the flavor. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
I hate wasting things. We talked about this earlier, how important it is to try and use as much as we can.
And now,
I love it.
2 cups of chicken stock. And we're gonna bring that to a boil. And I always, when I'm making a sauce, I always try and use a rubber spatula to get the outside. Make sure that all the little bits and pieces of roux are incorporated in, because sometimes it just sticks to the bottom of the pot and then it tends to burn. So we're gonna make sure that it's all mixed in just like that. Kind of just grab the sides. And then you can carry on whisking, sir. You know your sauce is done when you've done something called reaching nappe. So nappe is when you can coat the back of a spoon, a wooden spoon, and drag your finger through it. It makes a line.
Ooh!
So there it is. That's nappe.
The sauce we have.
Yeah, there it is. And now we add our peas.
Oh, beautiful.
And that we're just gonna let that steam just for another couple of minutes, because peas you don't really need to cook very hard. We're just gonna let it kind of steam over a low heat, or even if you have enough steam left in your pot, it's fine. We just want to warm them through, so we're gonna put that aside while we plate our dish.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. Yum. Perfectly done. Delicious flavors. Wonderful. You guys are in for a treat.
Awesome. I had so much fun with you.
Thank you. Likewise. Hope we can do it again.
For sure.
And thank you all for being part of our adventure.
Yeah.
And hope you enjoy the cooking and hope you enjoy the music coming up with Joshua Roman and Tallahassee Symphony.
Yes, and stay tuned for more meal kits. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like my show, don't forget to subscribe, hit the little bell, and as always, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to Nikki Talks Food on YouTube.
Thank you again for being with us today. We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Prime Meridian Bank, for making this possible and for bringing great music and great food to our community.
Yeah, excellent.